Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. So I wanted to thank everybody today for joining me and reviewing the Yes records, the Steve Wilson box set that was released here. I think it's already been a couple of years ago. And first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for going over to ronbaudry.com. That's where I've got some of my records out of my collection I'm selling over there to help support the channel, to help get me funds to get to review some really nice records. And also I've got a forum on there where you can request records for me to review. And so I want to thank everybody for going over there and checking that out. Appreciate it. Next of all, I want to thank Simon Black for lending me these records and so I could review them. It was very, very gracious of him. And because of that, I wanted to try to get this video out there, and so I could get Simon's records back to him. So there's going to be some more records going on ronbaudry.com. I haven't gone through the whole collection. I still got quite a few records to go through. But yeah, it's hard to pick stuff out that I'm going to sell because, a lot of that stuff I've been finding out. I haven't listened to this for a while. I probably don't need it. And I listened to, oh yeah, no, I got to keep this. This is why I got this record. So without further ado, this is what I compared to. I'm going to touch on the first records that I used for comparison. Because first and foremost, I'm not going to talk so much about the mix, which is not, I'm talking about the fidelity, the quality of the pressings and that kind of thing. I'm going to touch on that, focus on that more. But this is Close to the Edge. This is the Friday Music Half Speed Master. That's the first record I used for comparison. And then of course we have Fragile, the One Step by Mobile Fidelity. And then the Yes album. This is another box by Friday Music, which is a 2LP 45 RPM. And so in the video now, so what we're kind of going to talk about here is who are these records really suited for? And because I'm what you would call, we kind of talk about this a little bit on the live stream lately, a novice collector versus a seasoned collector, or something like old guy like me that's been doing this for 50 years and had these records for a long time. When you start buying it, you're just glad you've never had the record, or you're happy to see anything. So it's got a bit of ring wear. It's not a first edition. It's not all that. That doesn't matter. I just want the record. I want to take it home. I want to listen to it. And so you start collecting that way. But as you go along, you say, oh, look at this one. This is really nice. This is going to be an upgrade. So I'm going to buy this one now. And then as time goes on, so like some of these records, they've been out for almost 50 years. So, we've been looking for a long time and we've got more time to upgrade. So that's where I'm at. I've upgraded many, many, many times, and I've compared a lot of these records before. And maybe I should just back up a little bit. And this record, I used to have the Rhino reissue, like 2011 reissue, which was really, really good. And of course this was better. So that was the one I stepped up from the Rhino to this box. And on the Fragile, it was the Kevin Gray Steve Hoffman mix from Acoustic. That's the one I used. That was the upgraded from that copy. And then the Yes Close to the Edge, I upgraded. I had a Rhino reissue, and I also had a Japanese first press, which is that's hard to get. That's a rare record. And I had both of those, and I compared them. So these were the winners of all those records. So now we come to the Steve Wilson, the Yes album. And now this, for some reason, which I don't understand why they did it like this, this has got the best cover of all the records. Look at this. It's got a big, thick gatefold cover here. It's a big, thick, the way you're supposed to make it, and the cover too is nice and thick. And then they've got the nice 180 gram records in here, and they come with a nice inner sleeve. So if you're not real fussy, that's fine right there. You can keep that. That's going to be fine. So this cover is done fantastic. They did a super job of the cover on this one. All the other covers, okay, all the other covers, what they did was, it's kind of like the Friday Music deal. You know, some of these covers where it's open on this side, right? And then this side is basically the same thing, but they just glued it together. And it's actually, it comes apart like that. So, and they still made them a gatefold because they always were. So they needed to maintain that. And but I guess it's all about price. But I don't know why they did such a great job on this cover, and then the rest of them they made them like this. But one thing that's cool, you can see, yeah, they changed the artwork. Let's do a little comparison here. It's the same record, but look, there's different artwork on it. So it's not only a remix, it's a remaster, it's a reinvention of the artwork by Roger Dean. Well, that's very cool. Okay. So we've talked about the covers, we talked about the inner sleeve, that type of thing. Okay. What's the best part about these records? Well, there's a lot of really good stuff to talk about on these records. The best part is they were pressed at Optimal in Germany. And these records are super quiet. I mean, when you want to compare that one step, how quiet it is compared to this, I mean, I'm hearing no difference basically on the back. What's one of the things that really makes these records stand out is because the background is so quiet. That's really important, because when the background is really quiet, you're able to hear a little deeper into the music, and you can hear a lot of more details than you normally could when you've got a lot of surface noise off the record. Because that's one of the kind of the drawbacks to vinyl is the signal to noise ratio. You know, because there's more noise on the vinyl. A CD doesn't have any noise because it's either there's nothing or there's something. So that background is always really low. But I've always said, yeah, a CD might have a better signal to noise ratio, but a vinyl record has a better music to noise ratio. It just sounds better. It's got a lot more spaciousness and better sound staging, and better detail, the whole 9 yards. It's just so much better in so many ways. Not that there's not good CDs. Everybody knows they make a lot of good CDs, and they make digital records too that are pretty good, which these are, of course. This is going to be digital records. Steve Wilson only does his remastering in the digital domain. Do I hear digital on these? No, I don't hear digital on here. That's a good thing. And like I said, the pressings at Optimal are phenomenal. Really good. I didn't see any irregularity. And the other thing that I really like about these records is, sometimes when you cue over and yet needle comes right down right near the edge of the record, it wants to jump in there because somehow there's a little cup or something on it. These here, I was putting it down and I got a little bit close to the edge, but it went right down there and went right across. Didn't, you know what I'm talking about, where they want to race into the groove. I don't like that. These aren't like that. They really did a good job of pressing the records, of making the vinyl. Okay, so when I'm doing my comparisons now, right? When I'm comparing these records, I mean, these got a tough road to hoe up. I'm comparing the creme de la creme. I mean, the cream of the crop, the best that there is out there. And we're talking 45 RPM, we're talking one step, all that. Okay? Are they going to be better than that or as good? No. And you wouldn't expect them to be, because that's not really the aim of this. So but they are very good sounding records. Very good sounding records. So, what I'm thinking about these records now, if you're like myself, if you're a seasoned veteran and you got the UK Plum, or you've got some of these other half speeds, and you've got the one step, and you've got all that stuff already because you've been collecting records for 30 years or whatever, and you've got a lot of these high-end audiophile recordings already. Do you need to buy this? No, you don't. You've already got some really, really good records. But there is a lot of people out there. Maybe you're not really, don't have a lot of Yes records. Maybe you're kind of a new fan to Yes. Maybe, you have just started collecting records and you've got, like what we used to do. I found Fragile, it was like a third edition, and it had some ring wear on it. And then maybe I found the Yes album, and that again maybe is the second edition or a third. And the covers are beat up, the vinyl's a little bit, So for I think it's $100, you can get 6 records, which is 5 LPs, but Topographic Oceans here. This is a double record, okay? So you can get all these records, and they sound really good. They sound phenomenal. I would think if you're comparing like domestic records, the Atlantic, Canadian presses, American presses, I'd say these are probably as good as the OG presses of that stuff. That's how good they sound. Are they going to be a Mobile Fidelity one-step sound? No. Are they close? Yeah, they're pretty close. I would say the differences I'm hearing from, I'm talking about the Rhino reissues or the first edition Japanese compared to these things. What they do, they give you a little more bass. They give you a little more shimmer on the cymbals. The voices are a little more holographic than the Rhinos were, than the Japanese original presses. Those records that I had there, that's what they're better at, and that's the same thing that is happening here. So, are these as good as the Rhinos and that? They're very, very close. So, if you don't want to chase down all those different pressings and all those different records and spend a lot more money, and you want to get some beautiful records that are pressed beautifully, that are quiet, you don't have a click or a pop or nothing on any of these records, and the covers is all going to be brand new and they're going to sound great. This is the thing to get right here. And I think that's pretty well it. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.